Hey there, I'm Monty. Today's video is an instructional video on how to shine your boots like a pro. Here we have a real dirty pair of boots. Now when they get this bad, and sometimes worse, the first thing you want to do is make sure all the mud is off. Knock all the chunks of mud off. Now what I normally do is I'll take it out back and I'll take a garden hose after it, spray all that dirt right off of there and let it dry for a while before I start to shine. Normally I'd be shining my boots out in the garage on my workbench. However, for the purposes of instruction, I'm going to do it on my kitchen table. Now I've placed a piece of cardboard on the table so that I don't do any damage to it. So you'll want to be careful when you're doing this. Next, I'd like to show you all the tools you're going to need in order to do a good job shining your boots. Now the most important product you're going to need is your shoe polish. You can use any brand you like. I use Kiwi black shoe polish. You can pick this up for $2 or $3. You're also going to need some type of brush. I use a toothbrush, not the one I brush my teeth with, of course. Now leather is just like skin. It has wrinkles and it has pores, and you're going to want to work that polish into all those little wrinkles and pores. Another thing I use is a can. Now this is just a regular vegetable can. I removed the label. You can see the top is removed. I just use that pull top one so there's no sharp edges, but I still wouldn't put my finger in there. You might get cut. And then I punch little holes with that little tool that you have in the kitchen just around the bottom, and that's to let air in because we're going to put a candle under here, and I'll explain why later. I also put some holes on the top here. Now you're going to need an ashtray, just a regular ashtray, and a candle. Now I just use the little tea candles. These get hot enough. Well, you'll also be using a little bit of water, although not a lot. I just put a little bit of water in a bowl here. Now there's many ways to buff out your boots after you got the polish on. That's the way I found, is with an old t-shirt. Just an old full cotton t-shirt. This works the best for putting on the polish and for buffing it off. Another thing I'd like to show you is I have a boot shining towel here, and I got this from Boot Barn. And I'm sure you can get them at Sheplers or any place that sells boots. It has a little bit of a texture on one side, and then it's really soft on the other side. Now this works real well for getting over your boot and going fast, because you want to have friction. Friction produces heat, and like I said before, heat is the secret to a good shine. The last tool I want to show you is a heat gun. This is a 2-speed heat gun. You don't need 2 speeds. You can get a one-speed heat gun. That works just as good. Now, I picked this up for less than $20. It doesn't cost much. It lasts you probably a lifetime. So you want to be careful. This tip gets really hot when it's plugged in, of course. I don't have it plugged in right now. Otherwise, don't put your hands near the tip. All right? You might burn yourself. When you lay this down, the heat gun normally comes with a piece of metal that you can set the tip on when you're not using it, when it's hot. You want to use that. You don't want to damage your table, or you don't want to get burned, or if somebody else comes along, you don't want them to get burned. So be real safe with this. Let's go ahead and light the candle. We're going to start heating up the polish. So first thing we got to do with that is light this candle. And keep it right in the center there of the ashtray. There we go. Flame burning. And then with the can, the cutout end goes over the top of the candle there. Just like that. Now take the cover off of the Kiwi. Place it on top, and then we got to give it a little bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and take my cotton t-shirt. What I do is I take 2 fingers here, I place it onto the t-shirt like this here, and I just wrap it and twist that really tight, just like that, and I hold on to the rest of that. And this is how I apply the Kiwi onto the boots. Now this Kiwi is nice and soft already. It's not too hot to touch this can yet, but it will get too hot. And if it starts to melt too much, just blow that candle out. But you should be done before that happens. Just start doing circular motions on your boots. Wherever there's leather, you go ahead and do that. Well, let me put it this way. Any place you want it to shine, you put on some shoe polish. Now when I first get started, I'm not too picky about how even this is. I'm just getting it on right now. And I'm not being skimpy about it, see? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go around the whole boot wherever there's leather. I use this toothbrush, put a little bit of kiwi on there. And now we're going to get into all those little grooves I was telling you about. Make sure we have polish in there. See where there's little grooves? You just go around and you make sure that there's polish in all of those. Now using your towel again, for your t-shirt, go ahead and dip it into the water. We're not going to use a lot of water. Now we're going to smooth that polish on. Don't push down hard, we're just going to smooth it out. We don't want to wipe that polish off your boot. We're just trying to smooth it on better. See? You don't want clumps, but we're just smoothing it out. Just going over it very lightly. Keep a nice thick coat of polish on there, especially on the tip. The next thing is we're going to use the heat gun. Now I'm just going to use the first level. It's a 2-speed, but I'm only using the lowest speed. And remember, you're going to go back and forth real slow on this and keep the gun moving. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Doesn't take long and you can see it starting to shine already. Just make sure you get every place that you put polish, you want to heat that up. Go ahead and do both boots like that. Just keep that heat gun moving steady. And you can see the shine. Now this is what they should look like when you're finished. It shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes to go through this entire process.